And people think escrow, title are just a commodity and not important.
Mm-hmm.
It is so important.
Yeah.
You really want to work with a great company.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. If you've bought property, sold property, thought about buying property, or you've tracked real estate at any point, you've heard about escrow. But most people don't really know what escrow is. So today I've got my friend, my colleague, and my transaction partner, if you will, Jenn Fenelli with us. Jenn works for Forefront Escrow. We've worked together on more transactions than I can count with my fingers and toes. We've known each other for longer than I can count with my fingers and toes. And, you know, I'm just really excited to have you on. So without further ado, Jenn, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So a whole part of these videos and kind of my goal with real estate is to help educate agents, but also consumers.
Yep.
And, you know, when you're buying a property, even a high value real property like planes and boats, things like that, escrow is typically involved.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be, but if it's not, things go sideways. I'd like to just discuss from a high level what escrow is, how the process works, and, you know, just why it's so important to a real estate transaction.
Escrow is really the heart of the transaction. We get the contracts, we take in the money securely. You want to be working with a reputable escrow company who has the backing, the good trust accounts, a experienced escrow officer. It's very important.
Yeah.
And really, they hold together your transaction from start to finish. We follow contracts, so we're a third party, neutral, ensuring that the buyer and seller's monies, contracts, everything's fulfilled.
Yeah.
And we're just following instructions.
Yeah. So when you open escrow,
Yes.
a contract gets accepted. Typically, it's the listing agent that's sending an email to the escrow team saying, okay, great. We have a new contract that's been accepted, a fully ratified contract by the buyer and seller, and you open escrow.
Yes.
So you'll assign an escrow number. Like you said, a specific team works on it. And you just, through the process, outline the contract and make sure I's are dotted and T's are crossed, right?
Yes. To put it simply, so we have an EMD, which is earnest money deposit, and that's a good faith deposit from the buyer.
Okay.
And that really initiates the start of your escrow.
Okay.
We have a contract. We follow the contract. So both parties have agreed. And escrow is really putting together the paperwork, dispersing to title, and making sure that everything is done properly to protect both seller and buyer. And we don't take sides. So we are there.
You stay neutral.
So we're neutral. We are making sure that your contract is being fulfilled properly and nothing is going astray.
Got it. So during a transaction, you know, there's talk of escrow and then also title.
Yes.
The escrow officer is communicating with title typically, and then the escrow officer is communicating directly with the buyer and seller in addition to the agents, right?
Yes. So your escrow officer is going to be in touch with the buyer, the seller, buyer's agent, seller's agent. We are in touch with the lender as well as title. So it really is a very important part of your transaction.
Yeah.
Title is then going to clear title and make sure that your loan, the seller's loan, has been paid off and the property is literally free of title and that we can transfer it. And escrow is sending the necessary paperwork to make sure that that's done properly.
A lot of times, or I shouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes a property owner may say, you know what, I'm going to sell this property by myself. And it's called a for sale by owner. And yes, that response is exactly how most people feel when they think about that. But if they wanted to do that and they wanted to sell the house to their neighbor or to a family friend, they can. And do they need escrow?
You always need escrow in California if you have title, which you always want title.
Yeah, you should have title insurance on every transaction.
So important. So for sale by owner, you are still going to go through the same process depending on if, let's say I'm selling my home for sale by owner to a neighbor and we're having no agents. It is even more important that you use a great escrow company who knows what they're doing because they are going to have to put this together. I don't recommend that.
Yeah, no, and nor would I. I mean, I've been involved in for sale by owners prior to having my real estate license, and I've seen what that process can look like, and it can be difficult.
Yes.
It can be difficult.
And really, when you're going through the sale of your home, it is so emotional. There's when you go into escrow, there is so much paperwork being thrown at the seller and the buyer from title, from escrow.
Yeah.
And having an agent that knows what they're doing to guide you is really important as well.
It's invaluable.
Yep.
It really is.
Yeah. And people think escrow, title are just a commodity and not important.
Mm-hmm.
It is so important.
Yeah.
You really want to work with a great company. We have wire fraud right now. A lot of different things going on.
Yeah. So, a lot of times things happen and then disclosures get created from it and changes to contracts get created. And so, to hit on the point of wire fraud, it is a really scary thing.
Yeah.
I have not personally been involved in it, but I've seen firsthand how these types of things can happen. So what does your escrow team do when it comes to wires, and how do they confirm things are secure and that the right wire instructions are going out and all that kind of stuff?
So really being in communication with our agents and the consumers and making sure that they know. Anytime you get an email from escrow, these hackers are really, really intelligent, and they will just tweak an email and it can appear like it's coming from escrow.
Yeah.
You always call the escrow officer to make sure that the wire instructions are the ones that
get
they
the
sent.
instructions, print them out,
Yes.
call escrow, confirm it over the phone with your escrow officer.
Yeah. We always say inquire before you wire. It takes 2 minutes to call your escrow officer and just make sure, did you send this email? And is this the right account number?
Because what happens if they send the money?
Gone.
There's nothing they can do.
There is. I mean, we have had situations where, something happens and the buyer did, make a mistake and send it to somebody else. We get the FBI involved, but it is a whole process.
And those hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars may never come back, or it could take months.
There is one case in San Diego. I don't know if it's been resolved, but the family that was purchasing, it was their whole life savings, $800,000. And they sent it overseas and it's gone. And they have yet to find out where the breach was. This was not with our company. And the money it's gone.
Wow. That's terrible.
I know.
I couldn't imagine.
Me either. So it's really important to inquire
Inquire before you wire.
Inquire before you wire.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, it is so important. And
that's why escrow is so important.
Yeah.
And sometimes from an escrow company, we get some flack of we are making sure we're doing, can you do this as a favor? No, we cannot. We need to follow protocol to make sure we are doing right by our consumers.
Yeah, exactly right. So how does an escrow company work? I mean, we'll get into what a consumer may face, but how does an escrow company work? There's teams within an escrow company, or what's that like?
So at our company, we have different aspects of escrow. I'm in sales. So I am going out and meeting agents and
building the relationships.
Building relationships and really getting to know you so I can know what your clientele is like and fit you with the best escrow officer. Mm-hmm. So then we have 15 escrow teams who are your officers. And I basically matchmake you with your officer to who's going to be a great fit for you and your clients.
Based on our needs, whether, I want someone who's always available by phone or email or certain times of day, personality-wise.
Yeah, personality, I would say, is one of the biggest things. If you're a type A personality, you might clash with another type A personality. Yeah. You might need somebody who's a little bit more easygoing and docile, but really it's personality is probably and communication. Yeah. But great communication with an escrow officer should be there no matter what.
100%.
Depending on.
And I've run into that before. I try to dictate the escrow company that I'm going to work with.
Yes.
Because I know the level of service that will be provided to my client in that transaction. I don't always get that. And I have there's been times where I've called you after the transaction and said, holy cow, this was terrible. Yep. And here's why I love your team so much. Yep. I've also called and said, wow, this agent was amazing. Yes. And maybe you should try and see if there's a way that they'll come join you because they're so amazing.
Yes. And there are so many great escrow officers. Yeah. Their job is really hard.
It is.
They are managing multiple transactions and a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money and attention to detail, right?
Yes. So, so as far as teams go, we have 15 escrow teams at Forefront all of them are amazing. You work with a great escrow officer, and so that's how we kind of pair everybody together.
That's interesting. I mean, I can't imagine, I see what Kristen, my TC does, my transaction coordinator, if you don't know. And the way she's able to keep track of the paperwork, like she doesn't print it. It all stays on her desktop, but somehow she knows exactly what's what. I'd have to be printing every single page out like when I first started.
Yes.
And having a binder, and it would be the number of forms these days, it would be crazy.
I say all the time, title officers and escrow officers are really the unsung heroes in our industry, and lenders, because they are really making sure that our job is easy. Yeah. And if it's like flying a plane, you fly airplanes. Yeah. Nobody complains about the easy landing. Yeah. No news is good news. Yeah. But if you land it,
if you bounce too hard, there's an issue. Yeah. And everyone complains. That's exactly right. So give me some examples of the type of problems that could come up with a transaction, and how escrow jumps in and minimizes the damage.
There are so many things that can go wrong in escrow if things aren't done properly. Working with a great agent. Yeah. We usually pre-open your escrows. So
so let's talk about that. Yeah. I think that's important, because Lynn was on recently, and we talked for title, why we order the PR ahead of time.
Yes. And pre-opening and ordering the PR, as basic as it is, we know who the actual sellers are. Mm-hmm. We know if it's in a trust. So we know who's going to need to sign the contracts. If we have a power of attorney for real estate, we know who's able to sign if somebody's overseas. Being ahead of things, are your sellers or buyers going to be out of the country? Yeah. Because they won't be able to sign. We have some things now that make it a little bit easier, but there's definitely those things
in preparation, and to be ahead of the game. It's so important.
Yes. And they keep us organized on our transaction. Yeah. As far as an agent standpoint, keeping your client updated on timelines and what to expect during escrow. The next, we're going to remove contingencies. We have an inspection. We have disclosures. Really keeping your client informed really helps. Yeah. The latter of that is they have no idea what's coming next. And
then they're scrambling and they're uncomfortable, and because they just don't know what's what.
Yes. It's like running a marathon with all sorts of hurdles that you didn't expect to come up. Yeah. So the SI, statement of information, is also really important to get that filled in as soon as possible, because you can have two names that are the same, and we need to clear that through the Social Security, making sure that there's no liens attached to them that attach to the property. Yeah. Same with the preliminary title report.
Title and escrow are often used synonymous with one another. Yeah. They're not the same thing.
Totally different.
But you guys do work hand in hand.
Yeah. We work in synchrony together to close the file. So I would say the most important part to know is escrow is handling the paperwork. We are ordering demands on payoffs of a property. So if you have a loan, that would be a loan payoff. Yeah. And we're getting that.
Or child support demand, which came up before. Yes, exactly right.
We're getting that over to title, and there's the loan of the seller's property is paid through by title. Got it. Because they are ensuring that is paid off, and title is free and clear to transfer the property to the new buyer.
So does the money actually get wired to escrow and then escrow to title?
So it's actually the reverse. So the buyer's money from the lender is going to be wired to title. Okay. And then they clear. Yeah. And then it comes back to us and we disperse at the end. Got it. So we record the seller owns a property. Yeah. And then the following day, usually within 24 hours, we get the money from title and then we disperse. I'm asked that all the time. Yeah. When do we get our money? Because everybody wants
their money. Yes. Especially, with the appreciation that we've had. Yes. People that bought their houses 50 years ago for, 16 strawberries and they're selling for $1.2 million.
They want that $1.2 million.
They want that money. Yes. Exactly right.
So that is actually sent through title.
Got it. Got it. That's interesting. So, we've talked about the things that are important to make a smooth transaction. Yep. Let's talk about closing day. And let's talk about what exactly, states do things differently. Yep. So we're talking about California specifically. There's a lot of agents, or if you listen to podcasts and they talk about meeting at the closing table. Well, not really pertinent for us in California.
Yes.
Walk us through, when there's a clear to close from the lender, and then it comes down to signing loan docs, signing the final escrow paperwork, meeting with a notary. What is that process like?
So we use mobile notaries now. You're not meeting at our office much anymore. It does happen, especially if we have an older couple that needs a little bit more handholding. But we send out mobile notaries who are vetted, and from there we are sending them to sign fund. That goes to title.
Yeah.
Title then releases to record once we have fulfilled everything on the escrow side. So your escrow officer is making sure everything's done on that contract.
Yeah.
We have dotted the I's, crossed the T's, and fulfilled what that contract is. We send that then to the recorders, and then we record on your property. It's all electronic. People think we walk it down.
You're not standing in line.
We're not standing in line anymore. Okay. It's funded, recorded, and then once it's recorded at the county, the new buyer owns that property.
Got it. And that's when we get the phone call, hooray, we're confirmed. Exactly right.
Yes.
And then after that, escrow will, go through and balance everything.
Yes.
And then they'll make their disbursements.
Yes. It's usually about 24 hours after the recording.
Got it. Yeah. Unless that falls on a Friday.
Then it's on Monday.
Then it's Monday.
Business day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. And can people get paid can they come pick up a cashier's check? Can they pick up a check? Can they wire? How does
we usually wire?
Okay.
That is all based on escrow instructions and how you have set that up as the agent for your clients.
Got it.
Through communication. And we are just, again, following that contract of what you have lined out for us.
Yeah. I mean,
usually wires.
I love following rules, and I don't know why it's something about me. I just give me the rules so I can follow them. I think it's very much the same. Escrow they have the contract, they're following the contract, and it avoids a lot of questions and a lot of, uncertainty or, just really explanations of everything. There's no, here it is, point to the contract, and that's it.
Well, and escrow is really, we are rule followers.
Yeah.
And good escrow officers are really following that to a T to make sure everybody's protected. You as the agent, your client, everybody.
Yeah, and you have insurance for E&O, errors and omissions, but
we don't want to use that.
You don't want to use it. No,
No.
Exactly right. Exactly. So we've worked on a boatload of transactions together. I know you have a handful of other agents that you work with, so you've seen a lot of stuff. Are there things that agents do unintentionally that cause hiccups during an escrow process?
Oh, absolutely. I would say the biggest thing is not communicating to your client what to expect.
Yeah.
Not pushing them to get the SI in. That's so important.
Yeah.
Not knowing that they have a child support lien. Knowing the transaction. I know that is so basic, but really knowing what goes on.
Yeah. Can set up the entire rest of the transaction.
The entire.
Yeah.
I mean, I get questions all the time, and there's nothing that's, but educate yourself on who's able to sign on your transaction.
Well, if you haven't done the PR with title, if you don't know exactly who's on the grant deed and who should be signing, you may have a listing agreement that's completely wrong.
Yeah. And that happens. And then we have to do an addendum or, a new contract.
Or if names are spelled wrong.
Yes. Oh, that's a huge one. On the final deed, if it's, Jennifer M. Fenelli on the deed, that is how we have to deed out of that. And that is so important right now for your escrow company to make sure you're preparing the deeds properly. If you work with a good title company, they will usually catch it.
Yeah.
But it's a step that shouldn't have to happen. So making sure that you are giving the information properly to your company.
So setting expectations from the beginning, making sure that you've done your own, as an agent, done your own due diligence and that you're fully prepared, because it sets the tone for the entire transaction.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. It seems so obvious, right?
It does.
But people get worked up. They're moving. They're maybe moving a little faster than they should. And these things get overlooked, but taking a step back, saying, okay, and
paying attention to the details as an agent is really important.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, there's so many nuances to a transaction.
Yes.
As a sales executive, for the escrow company for Forefront, it's your goal to make sure that the agents are happy. But
yes.
what else are you doing from the standpoint of educating them and helping their business?
So really, I like to get you on the phone. If you are a new client to me, getting you on the phone with your escrow officer to set your expectation. Every agent works very differently and they have different expectations of an escrow officer.
Yeah.
So having a conversation and matching you with the right escrow officer, and then you two getting together and me connecting you with her.
Yeah.
Typically her.
With them. Yep.
To know what you like and work out as a team, how you like to communicate with your clients. You might have just a tiny little extra thing that you do for your clients that another agent doesn't, making sure that you guys are all in synchrony together and really being a part of your team throughout the transaction. You can call me during a transaction anytime.
And I copy you on the email.
Yes.
Like I want you in the loop with everything going on, because I know if I have a problem or if I need something, you're always available.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like you mentioned earlier, escrow is not just a commodity.
It is not.
It's not like there's a lot of escrow companies, but that doesn't make them good.
Yeah. And I think really building the relationship with you.
Yeah.
I know what you like.
Yeah.
I know how you run a transaction.
Yeah.
I know you're always very calm, but direct, and you have a certain protocol.
Yeah.
So being a part of that and really knowing how you tick is helpful.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, we have worked because we've been together for so long. We've worked with other, escrow
about
units.
10 years.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, we didn't talk about this earlier, but we were neighbors.
Yes.
I know.
Lived in the same neighborhood.
We both went to San Diego State. Like, it's crazy how things come full circle. Yes. But yeah, no, I mean, I just enjoy that I get to work with you on these transactions. And it's not just, my whole business is relationship based and very much like yours, and so it's great to work with like-minded individuals and people that just want to come from a place of service.
Yeah. This business really is, as complicated as all of this that we've talked about sounds, it is really relationship and caring about your people.
Yeah.
I think if you were to ask me what makes me different from other sales executives, I genuinely care about you. I know about your kids. I know about your family.
Yeah.
And I want you to be successful. That is my biggest goal. And by doing that is providing great service to your clients. So they walk away and say, wow, we had a great experience, not only with you, but your team.
Yeah.
And then if something does go wrong, we have a delayed closing because that happens sometimes, lending's off. How are we proactively working on that so your clients walk away feeling good?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because the first transaction goes well, the next transaction will go well. And we just continue with each client. If they're happy and we want them to continue to be happy, then everyone's happy.
Yep.
So thank you. I appreciate it. I think this was super helpful just to discuss the nuances of what escrow is. And it's just, again, there's so many parts of the transaction that this is just another layer in that.
Yes.
So guys, I'll link all of Jenn's info below. See it in the comments, follow along. If you have questions, feel free to comment. I'd love to loop Jenn in again if there's anything that she can answer. She's the expert, not me. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.